Hey, my friend.
Hi.
We're back another day. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Miss Kayla's dancing, so she's probably doing well.
Yes.
And we hope you are too. Parents, we hope you're holding on and doing as good as you can, all right?
Go through it.
So today, we don't have a song, but what I do want us to do is do days of the week without the music. I want to see how well you know your days of the week. All right? You ready to do it with me? Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday
And there's Monday, there's Tuesday, and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday, and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week.
Days of the week.
Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week.
Thank you. So I hope you all did that with us. Good job learning the days of the week. We love it. All right. You know what's next? Let's talk about what day it is. What month is it? December. Remember, December is the last month of the year. December is the 12th month of the year, okay? And then today is Thursday. The day before Friday, Thursday, and the day is the 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you count?
2 high fives.
Good job. Woohoo! All right, let's go over our color. Blanco, Spanish for white. White, W-H-I-T-E, white. Remember, I always ask what's some things that's white. Tell me some new things. Don't say nothing you already said. Tell me some new things that could be white. Shoes. I got some kind of white shoes on. What is that? Glue. Mm-hmm.
Another cotton balls.
Yep. Good job. So those are some new things that are white. Good job, my friend. All right, let's go to the numbers of the week. What is this? 13. Good job. And what is this? 14. Good job. Let's count to 13. Then we'll go to 14. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good job. Remember we said it's 2 high fives. And then you give me 4 on the other hand. 2 high fives and 4, all right? Good job. Now let's move to our shape. We have a pentagon. How many sides does a pentagon have? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Give me a high five. Woo! All right, let's go over the letter. What letter are we on? J. Good job. We got J for Jello, J for jar, J for juice box, J for jellyfish, and J for joy. All right? Good job, my friends. So, I'm going to pause really quick, and I'll be right back with you. Thank you. All right, y'all, we're back. So, today we're talking about safety. That's something we learned about a lot while we were here because of COVID. Because for some of you, this was your first time in the school. For some of us, this was the first time teaching. So, I want to talk about safety really quick. So, with COVID, with wintertime, with the holidays, and all that stuff coming together, what are some things that we can do to remain safe? I want you to tell me, and then I'll tell you, and Miss Kayla maybe will tell you a couple, and then we'll see if we have some of the same answers. All right, number 1, wash your hands. Number 2, continue to wear your mask. Number 3, dress warm. Because it's getting cold outside. Today is nice, but it's getting cold outside. So dress warm. What else did I have? Number 4, listen to adults and grown-ups. Because there's a lot going on. There's people everywhere. It might start snowing. It might be some ice on the ground. So you want to listen, listen. Number 5, tell somebody when you're not feeling good. When should you tell them? Right away, so they could get you some help, right? And then number 6, when you cough and sneeze, how do you need to do it? In your arm. In your arm. But
Like you're dabbing.
But if you forget your arm, there should be tissue somewhere for you to wipe your nose. All right? Good job. Those are our tips. Miss Kayla, did you want to have any tips, or you think that was pretty good?
I think that's pretty good.
All right, cool. She said she signed off on it, so that was good. Right now, I'm getting ready to do something really fun. I'm going to read our story. And if you checked out the lesson plan, you'll see that it is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That is right behind Home Alone for me. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's my second favorite. My second favorite. All right? So, I want you to get you some hot cocoa. I want you to put on a sweater. And I want you to get really, really ready to hear me read the book. Now, this book, as you can see, is huge. So I might not lift it up as much as I usually do. Usually I hold it and read it. This time I might look down, look up, then put it up. All right? So, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I love that song. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I love that. All right, y'all ready? Say, I'm ready. You ready? I'm ready. You ready? All right. Good job. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a whole lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, people don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were just too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Aww. His heart, they said they think his heart might have been too small. Let's see. Did y'all see the Grinch standing in his cave? But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating all the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was now busy hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. Do you all think that the Grinch will be able to stop Christmas? Let me know. For tomorrow, he knew. All the Who girls and Who boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise, oh, the noise, oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. See? See the pictures? Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, feast, feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand the least. So he don't like the food either, y'all. And then they do something he'd like the least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why? 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled, and he clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. Look, you all. Do you see the Grinch put on Santa Claus clothes? All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeers are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn up upon his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, giddy up! And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. So the Grinch is on his way in Santa Claus clothes. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1. The old Grinch Claus hissed and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he climbed down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out the fireplace, flew. Where the little Who stockings all hung in a row, these stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Look at the Grinch, y'all, coming down the chimney, taking the gifts. Now that ain't right. What are we gonna do about that? Then he slithered and slugged with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bopsicles, roller skates, drums, checkboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He stuffed them in his bags, then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the narrow chimney. Then he slunked the icebox. He took the Who's feast, he took the Who pudding, and he took the roast beef. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash, while the Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. So he's taking everything. Oh my goodness. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou, who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cold cup of water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Look at little Cindy Lou. Look how tiny she is. They said she's 2 years old and she caught the Grinch. But you know that the old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought of it quick. Why, my sweet little tot? The fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. Do you think he's telling the truth, y'all? And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her on the head and he got her a drink and sent her right to bed. And Cindy Lou, who went up to her bed with the cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. You see that? They're all sleeping and he's stuffing the tree up the chimney. Cindy Lou is on to something. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself. That old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks of some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's house, leaving crumbs much too small from the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn and all the Who's still abed. And the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their parents, their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsels, the trimmings and the trappings. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. So they're still carrying on with the way they do Christmas. They not letting the Grinch get in their way. They not letting him stop them. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till the puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't thought of before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he... what do y'all think's about to happen, y'all? He himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. You see? All right. The end. Good job. I know you all listened to this whole story of the Grinch. All right, I have a question. What would you do if you felt like the Grinch came in your home and took your presents? Would you still want to sing Christmas carols? Would you still want to drink hot cocoa and watch Christmas movies? What would you do? And so we see in the story that even though the Grinch came and he did what he did, they still carried on in their hearts with joy. With joy. So there you have it. And his heart grew. And so sometimes when you're still kind to people, even when they're not kind to you, it does something to their heart. So always be kind. Always be kind. All right. So now we have our wonderful question of the day. And our question of the day is, what are some words or some other J words? What are some words that begin with the letter J? And I'm going to see what you all say, but I have some as well, okay? So what about jog? What about jog? What about jump? Jokes. Jingle. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jam. You can say, I'm jamming to this song, or I'm putting some jam on this bread. Jupiter. January. Jungle. Jewelry. Jacket. June. July. Journal. Jet. And jail. So those are some of the J words we came up with. And now I want to see, did you have some of those similar words? Or did you come up with some of your own? Whatever you did is fine. We're proud of you. We miss you. And that's it. We'll see you soon. All right, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Peace.